In the United States, studying law comes with high expectations and rigorous standards. However, it is widely considered one of the most prestigious and promising academic paths. By regulation, students who graduate from college must pass a very demanding bar exam before they're qualified to practice law. Those who excel in that exam are often met with a bright future. Statistics show that a lawyer in the U.S. can earn an average of $60,000 to $200,000 a year, a highly desirable income. As a result, law students are often seen as high-potential individuals. They are respected and held in high regard because once they pass the bar, their voice becomes one that speaks for fairness and justice. But nothing in life is ever guaranteed. Not prestige, not intellect, not even a seemingly secure future. In the middle of the summer of 2011, a tragic case shocked everyone precisely because it involved someone who was supposed to stand for the law, and what's right, a law student. Her name was Lauren Giddings. Lauren Giddings was born in 1984 in Laurel, a small city nestled between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. She was raised in a warm, loving family alongside her two sisters. Her younger sister was named Sarah. The three siblings had a close bond and always supported one another. Their parents, Bill and Karen, were dedicated and caring, always striving to provide the best opportunities for their daughters to pursue their dreams. Because of this upbringing, Lauren quickly stood out as exceptional among her peers and family. In 2008, after finishing high school, Lauren was accepted to Mercer University, one of the top academic institutions in the southeastern United States, where she could pursue her dream of becoming a lawyer. During her university years, Lauren studied diligently and achieved excellent results. To her friends, she may have studied a serious subject, but she herself was lively, cheerful, and thoughtful. She had a naturally warm personality and showed genuine care for others. Lauren also loved animals, which explained her gentle nature and why she rarely raised her voice or got into conflicts with anyone. In 2011, Lauren was proud to receive her college diploma after years of hard work. However, in the United States, becoming a lawyer is no simple task. To obtain a license to practice law, she would still need to pass the Georgia bar exam, an extremely stressful and difficult test. Only after passing it could she truly make her dream of becoming a lawyer a reality. So after graduating, rather than returning home, Lauren asked her parents for permission to stay in Macon to prepare for the upcoming exam. Being the considerate person she was, she explained to her family that she would be dedicating a lot of time to studying, so she might not be able to stay in regular contact. That way, if she didn't call often, they wouldn't worry. Lauren wasn't alone in Macon. Other students had also chosen to stay and study. To be closer to the university library, Lauren and the others lived in a student housing complex just across the street from Mercer University. There she planned to spend several weeks focusing entirely on her preparation for the crucial exam ahead. During this time, Lauren's family fully supported her decision. They didn't want to disturb her, so they rarely called. Instead, they would send her short messages now and then, checking in and waiting patiently for her to reply when she had the chance. But on June 29, 2011, Lauren's younger sister, Sarah, began to sense that something wasn't right. The last text message Sarah had sent Lauren was on June 26th, and it had been 3 full days with no response. More concerning, the message hadn't even been read. That was unusual. Even during the busiest times of study, Lauren would always find a moment before bed to send a short reply. Feeling worried, Lauren's older sister Caitlin tried calling her to check in, but no one picked up. With no other option, Caitlin reached out to Lauren's friends to see if anyone had heard from her. But all of them, including Lauren's close friend Ashley Morehouse, said the same thing: they hadn't heard from Lauren in days. On June 30th, 2011, Ashley decided to go to Lauren's apartment to check on her. When she arrived, the door was locked, but Lauren's car was still parked outside. Ashley remembered that Lauren used to keep a spare key hidden outside in case she ever lost her regular one. She found it and used it to enter the apartment. Inside, everything seemed perfectly in place. The apartment was quiet. There was no sign of a struggle or forced entry. But something felt off. Ashley noticed that Lauren's car keys, wallet, phone, and even her study materials were all still in the room. That struck her as very strange. There was no reason Lauren would leave home without taking those essential items. Realizing something might be seriously wrong, Ashley immediately called 911 to report Lauren as missing. Police arrived quickly at the apartment. After an initial inspection, they concluded that the lock hadn't been tampered with. Nothing appeared stolen, and there were no visible signs of violence or forced entry. However, Lauren's unexplained disappearance raised serious concerns. Something about it just didn't sit right. Investigators were then called to the scene to conduct a more thorough search, hoping to uncover any clue that might have been missed. As part of the investigation, they sprayed luminol, a chemical that reveals traces of blood even after cleaning all over Lauren's bedroom. But the results came back clear. There were no traces of blood in the bedroom. Then they moved on to the bathroom. That's when things took a chilling turn. After spraying luminol on the wall's floor and bathtub, the chemical began to glow. Large streaks lit up under the black light, indicating that a violent event had likely taken place there. Immediately, police secured the entire building as a crime scene and began a full search of the complex. They checked every corner, every hallway, and every shared area, leaving no stone unturned. As one officer approached a window, they caught a strong, unpleasant odor. It was unmistakable, an odor often encountered in forensic investigations. As the wind shifted, the smell became even more noticeable. Whatever it was, it seemed dangerously close. Following the strange smell, police traced it to a trash bin outside the apartment complex. The odor grew stronger and more distinct. It was clear that something inside was far beyond ordinary waste. Officers put on gloves and carefully opened the lid. Inside a black trash bag, they made a grim discovery: the dismembered remains of a human torso. The body was immediately sent for DNA testing and cross-referenced with a strand of hair that had previously been collected from Lauren's bed. The results came back conclusive. The remains belonged to Lauren Giddings. The investigation instantly shifted from a missing persons case to a major homicide. Detectives now faced two urgent questions: who committed this horrific act, and where were the rest of Lauren's remains? Lauren's family was devastated by the news. Her father, Bill Giddings, expressed a heartfelt plea for authorities to recover all of his daughter's remains and to bring her killer to justice. Her mother and sisters could do nothing but cry and pray that justice would prevail. Police began questioning Lauren's friends and associates. Many of them recalled that the last time they saw Lauren was on June 25, 2011. That day, she had gone out with a group of friends for a short break after intense days of bar exam preparation. But later that evening, Lauren had left early and gone home alone. After that, no one had seen her. However, no one grew suspicious at the time. Everyone assumed she had simply gone into full study mode. Her friends also described Lauren as responsible, kind, punctual, and hardworking. She didn't stay out late, she never skipped class, and she kept a regular routine. One neighbor who lived just a building away told officers, "She was never anything but polite. She never showed a temper, not once." Family, friends, and neighbors struggled to comprehend how someone so kind and soft-spoken could meet such a tragic end. Investigators turned to the building's security camera system, hoping for clues. But they found that the surveillance system had stopped working long ago and had never been repaired. The lack of footage added a major challenge to the case. There were no visual records of who might have entered or exited the complex. Back in Lauren's apartment, her phone, wallet, and car keys were still in place. There were no signs of robbery, forced entry, or a physical struggle. That led detectives to consider a chilling possibility: the suspect might have been someone Lauren knew, or someone who had access to the apartment and knew how to move around without leaving traces. With that theory in mind, the police examined Lauren's personal computer for information about her recent communications. In her email inbox, most messages were about schoolwork or casual conversations with friends and family. There was no indication that she had invited anyone over on the day of her disappearance. However, investigators uncovered an email Lauren had sent to her boyfriend the day before she went missing. In it, she described having suspicions that someone might have tried to break into her apartment. She wrote that for several weeks she had noticed things in her home being moved around in strange ways. Items out of place, furniture slightly shifted despite the fact that she hadn't touched them herself. Police considered the email Lauren had sent to her boyfriend a crucial clue. It strongly suggested that she had been watched and that someone had been secretly entering her apartment multiple times. What puzzled investigators, however, was how the person managed to get inside. The front door showed no signs of forced entry, and the windows in the apartment were well secured, not easy to break into. As soon as news of the murder spread across the apartment complex, television reporters arrived on the scene. One of them interviewed lead investigator Mr. Burns, who confirmed that the police were still actively searching for the remaining parts of Lauren's body. Officers had expanded their efforts to include riverside dumpsters along the Ocmulgee River, which runs through downtown Macon. They also used camera probes to explore the underground drainage systems near the apartment complex. But so far, no additional remains had been recovered. While recording footage near the scene, a news crew began interviewing residents. Coincidentally, they ran into a young man who had just returned to the area. When asked, he introduced himself as Stephen McDaniel, a 25-year-old law student who happened to be both Lauren's classmate and neighbor. Oddly, when Stephen was told about the murder in his building and that the victim was someone he knew, he showed almost no surprise. When asked about Lauren, he calmly described her as a good person with a strong personality. When the reporter asked if he thought Lauren had any enemies, he muttered, "No. None of us knew where she went. Maybe she went out somewhere and got kidnapped." The interview continued relatively smoothly until the reporter asked Stephen how he felt about the discovery of Lauren's torso in the trash bin behind the building. At that moment, Stephen's demeanor changed dramatically. He looked shaken, stumbled over his words, and said, "I think I need to sit down." This sudden shift in behavior caught the attention of the police. Investigators quickly brought Stephen in for questioning. During the interview, Stephen denied having any close relationship with Lauren. He said he knew her from class but didn't speak to her often. He claimed to be too focused on studying for the bar exam to notice much of anything else. His answers seemed vague and at times contradictory. Despite the lack of a direct confession, police found Stephen's behavior suspicious, especially given his quiet, awkward demeanor. He was thin, soft-spoken, and seemed far from the type of person capable of a violent crime. But the investigators didn't let appearances fool them. Though they had no hard evidence yet, police decided to detain Stephen for further questioning. At the same time, they requested a warrant to search his apartment and the surrounding units within the complex. During the building-wide sweep, nothing unusual was found in the other apartments. But inside Stephen's unit, police discovered something alarming, a master key capable of unlocking every apartment in the complex. With this discovery, investigators returned to question Stephen again. This time, he admitted that he had stolen the master key from the property manager and had used it to enter 2 neighboring apartments. He claimed he didn't take anything valuable, just a few condoms. Based on this confession, authorities now had legal grounds to arrest Stephen McDaniel for burglary and unlawful entry. While Stephen McDaniel was still undergoing police interrogation, another team of officers searched the apartment complex's laundry area. There they discovered a metal saw with reddish stains suspected to be traces of blood. Simultaneously, a separate team was conducting a search of Stephen's apartment. Inside, they found an empty package for a metal saw matching the brand of the one found in the laundry room. Alongside that, they recovered several USB flash drives and a small women's notebook hidden in one of the drawers. Additionally, investigators noted that the bedsheet on Stephen's bed had irregular reddish stains resembling dried blood. All of these items were carefully collected and sent to the forensic lab for detailed analysis. While awaiting the results of an ongoing investigation, the police examined Stephen's flash drive and uncovered a collection of inappropriate content involving minors. They also found deleted videos and unusual items at Stephen's home, including a Japanese sword, sharp tools, rubber bands, and other odd objects. These discoveries painted a troubling picture of Stephen, a law student who appeared to lead a double life marked by unhealthy obsessions. Forensic analysis revealed traces of Lauren, the victim in the case, on the items found at Stephen's residence. A saw blade matched the model discovered in the apartment complex's laundry area. After recovering the deleted videos, investigators found they contained covert footage of Lauren's apartment filmed from outside. They theorized Stephen might have used a small recording device attached to a long pole to spy through her window on multiple occasions. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Stephen remained silent, refusing to admit to any charges. Detectives applied psychological pressure, informing him that even if he didn't confess to crimes related to Lauren, the evidence already pointed to serious offenses like trespassing, theft, and possession of illegal materials. Yet Stephen held firm. After hours of deliberation and an offer to drop charges related to the illegal materials if he told the truth about Lauren's death, Stephen finally confessed. His account left everyone shaken. Stephen had harbored an unrequited crush on Lauren, a classmate. Lauren, who was in a committed relationship, always maintained a clear distance from him, whether at the library or their shared apartment complex. Obsessed, Stephen moved closer to her, pretending to study diligently just to be near her. He secretly kept photos of Lauren to fuel his fixation. His obsession escalated when he stole a master key from the landlord to sneak into her apartment when she was away. He admitted to taking personal items like clothing to satisfy his unhealthy desires. When Stephen learned Lauren was planning to move, he became furious at the thought of losing access to her. On June 26, 2011, at 4:30 a.m., Stephen, dressed in dark clothing, wore a mask and gloves and slipped into Lauren's apartment. His plan was to watch her sleep, but when the floor creaked, Lauren woke up and screamed. Panicked and afraid of being caught, Stephen lunged onto the bed, covered her mouth, and restrained her. In the struggle, Lauren pulled off his mask and recognized him. She pleaded with him, but Stephen, overwhelmed by fear, held her down until she stopped moving. Realizing she was no longer alive, he dragged her body to the bathroom, tidied the apartment, and fled to his own place. That day, Stephen researched ways to cover his tracks. That night, June 26, 2011, he returned with a saw, carefully dismembering Lauren's body and disposing of the remains in black trash bags, which he scattered across various dumpsters. He then resumed his routine, attending the library to study as if nothing had happened, even feigning concern when others noticed Lauren's absence. Stephen believed the remains would decompose in a landfill, but a sanitation worker's oversight left a dumpster at the apartment complex unchecked, leading to the discovery of evidence. On August 2, 2011, Stephen was charged with Lauren's murder. By April 2012, the case went to trial in a higher court. Stephen denied any assault, insisting he only wanted to keep Lauren from leaving. The lead forensic expert confirmed no evidence of assault on Lauren's remains. Stephen claimed he had mental health issues and expressed remorse, but Lauren's family rejected his apologies. They hoped he would spend his life in prison, haunted by his actions. On April 21, 2012, Stephen was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Despite his legal knowledge, his 2018 appeal was denied by the higher court. Lauren's family held a memorial service at Macon Church, where she had attended weekly. Friends brought flowers and photos to the apartment complex where Lauren had lived, chasing her dream of becoming a lawyer. Everyone mourned that she was just one step away from passing her exams and living a fulfilling life. Her loss left an immense void for her family and friends, while Stephen, the troubled individual, had stolen the bright future of a talented young woman.